Welcome back. Today I have a really fun video that we're going to talk about how you would drape some material on your dress form and why you would do it. So like I said before, this video is all about draping, why you do it, some tips to doing it, and we're going to get really into why it's important. So before we do that, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment and tell me what you want to see next. With that said, here is my dress form. So what I'm going to be doing is I have two different pieces of fabric. One is a remnant that I got from Joann Fabrics. Another is this lining material that I had gotten in a mystery box. And we're just going to be playing around with them today. I think maybe draping it into a two-piece set. And as you can see, I have this one material here. It is sheer see-through, but it has these pearls on it. So when I drape it on my dress form, just kind of hang it on here, it's very heavy and I can start to see how it's flowing, kind of which way it starts to go. And this is a great point of draping, is it lets you see how your fabric is going to be moving and how it will lay. Now there's lots of different things we can do with it, and draping lets you see that, what if I want to do like a one-piece outfit where it has like an over-the-shoulder look, or if I was making this into a strapless dress. It also lets you see how much fabric you would need. So like I mentioned at the beginning, this is a remnant. This was actually, I believe, a yard of this material. But as I look at this, it would not be enough really if I wanted to make this like an all-in-one outfit and try to do this like over the shoulder. There's not really enough of it. I can see that I do have enough if I tried to do this kind of strapless dress idea. Like it couldn't really flare out, it would just kind of be like a fit. And if it's like this, I would have enough. I can also see how it's going to lay, and that's a really great point of draping. So now it is time to actually get into the draping. So as you can see here, I have some draping tape. This is something you can get off Amazon, pretty cheap. I like to think of it as like a very thin blue painter's tape. That's kind of how it feels and looks to me. And what you do is you can use this to kind of get the overall shape and look of whatever outfit you're going for. Now, depending on how developed your ideas for this, you could definitely just kind of do the tape for one side of your outfit, but normally I do kind of do both so that I mimic what the entire shape would look like for the different type of top or even skirt that I'm looking at. So there's different ways you can go about this. You definitely do not have to do it the same way that I'm doing it, but it's just lots to kind of help you when you're trying to still develop your idea and look at how it will be when you actually drape it. So now that I have that one piece done, what I can go through is actually then continue on with my design. So like I said at the beginning, I think that I want to make this kind of a two-piece, maybe formal wear outfit, or get the idea of what that would look like. So I added some draping tape for where I would want the bottom of that top portion to be. As you can tell here, it is very crooked when I kind of looked around at what it looked like. So a really nice part about this draping tape is that it is somewhat removable, and then you can stick it back on. So if you do make a mistake like this, it's very easy to just readjust it to get it to be the exact size, shape, pattern, however you want it to look. We can just reattach it. Then I did go ahead and add some more tape for where I would want the skirt to start. Again, you'll see that it is crooked, but I was able to go right back in and just readjust it to get it to be the shape that I was looking for. So now that the tape is on, I have a general idea of the shape. It's time to actually start using our fabric. So I'm going to start with my lining material. This is also someplace when you are really getting into your designing if you want to use muslin. So I have a lot of this lining, so I really don't care if I do kind of mess it up a little bit. It came in a mystery box. But if you had like a really nice fabric, I would definitely recommend using a material first that you do not care if you cut up, if you mess up a little bit. You will also want to be sure that it is a larger piece of material. You don't want to start draping and then run into the issue that you don't have enough material to continue the drape or the look that you're going for. So what I do is I kind of pick up my material, kind of find that middle point for it, and then I fold it over and just start pinning it to my dress form. So this allows me to get an idea of how it's going to lay, what the shape is going to look like. So in this case, I have that really nice rounded shape at the top of my dress form. So I made sure I had enough material that I could go all the way around. And then I just pinned it where I had that draping tape originally so that I could follow the shape and the outline of what I originally had done. So sometimes if you are doing multiple different pieces, there's multiple videos actually that show how you could really kind of drape a corset if you wanted it to be much more form-fitting. In this case, I'm going to keep it very simple, and what we're going to do now is work on adding a couple little darts at the front so that this will be a little bit more form-fitted than it is right now, and then also worry about cutting off a lot of this extra material, because remember, this is two pieces, so I have a lot of extra that I don't need. So in the back here, you can see that I just kind of pin the two pieces close together, but I am going to cut some of this extra fabric that I no longer need, and this will allow us to then be able to really get some of those more form-fitting details, such as where the darts are going to go, as well as how long I really want the corset top to be. So now this is kind of what my top general shape is looking like. This is all, again, just kind of mock-up material. So what I'm going to do now is just add a couple darts. I'm not going to have this video really be on how to do the very formal looking darts, how you would actually go through with this. If you are interested in that though, let me know and I can have another video on how you would actually make this much more form-fitting. I'm just making some very simple darts to kind of bring in the fabric so that I could get the overall shape of it. You can see it kind of has like a fun little peplum shape right now just because it does still have that extra material on it, but in theory it would not have that for the look that I was kind of going for. But draping allowed us to see what this could look like. So now what I'm going to do is cut off a lot of this extra material so that I get a better idea of how much fabric I would actually need for this. Also, it's going to lay a lot better when you don't have all this extra bulk. So another reason why it's very important to go through and really trim off that extra material that you do not need. The more fabric you have, the more awkward it can be for it to lay, especially when you're doing something that is very form-fitting. So it's important to make sure that you do trim it up to where you need it to go, but don't trim off too much, as that's where you can start to get into issues of your seam allowance, as you can never really add fabric back in, or when you do, it can just make things a little bit more tricky. So it's really this fine line of figuring out how much fabric you need versus how much bulk you need. I always try to add about an inch or so extra, and then that would give me enough to do a seam allowance as well as to cut some off. Next, what I started working on was draping the skirt. So this was going to be much easier as I just really wanted it to be a basic skirt. Since I don't have a lot of that sheer material, I'm not going to do a very full skirt in this case. It's going to really just be a very slim A-line skirt that almost may be a little bit more form-fitted to the body. That way you will be able to see that really fun sheer material. So I cut off a little bit of the bottom to make it a little bit shorter, but this is sort of what our draping looks like. So you can tell we're getting a really good idea of how this outfit would look. It has that really fun two-piece effect, and we're able to see what the corset would look like. And now it's time to really start draping on that really fun sheer material. So I have this. It's funny because it actually is a pretty heavy fabric just because of all those little pearls that are attached to it. And what I'm going to do is just lightly drape it on. So I think I want the part that has the most pearls to be at the top, and then for it to like slowly just kind of like cascade down to less and less pearls. And very similarly to what I did before, I'm just pinning this on right at the edge of where that draping tape was, so I can have it be at the very edge of the top. So once I had that done, what I started to do was I did pin this back slightly to make it be a little bit more form-fitted. I don't know if I would actually do this when I were to make this dress or this outfit. I think I would probably cut this fabric so that it would be two separate pieces. But I did want it to have a little bit more form-fitted of a look and to just kind of play around with it, because again, this is what draping is for. It's to allow you to see how different fabrics move. It allows you to see what different designs would look like. So I don't really want to cut this material, since this sheer material with the pearls is that more expensive good material that I have, but I want to see how it would lay in total. So with that said, this adventure in draping is complete. I had so much fun working on this. It's a really fun way to kind of let your creative process go, see where different fabrics take you, and kind of what you would want to do with them. If you like this video and you think that I should make this into an outfit, please let me know. I can do a whole tutorial on how you would sew this up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.